scientist on hand at the moment.
Thank you.
So anadromo means to walk both ways. So an anadromous fish, such as a salmon, is a fish that quote unquote walks both ways. They start in fresh water, swim to the sea, mature, and swim back to the river that they were hatched in. They actually can sense the chemical cues of the water that they were born in.
Yeah.
So when we raise salmon in hatcheries, we raise them in a particular river-flavored water we'd like to release them in so that they can hopefully repopulate those rivers.
Yeah. There's kind of a jelly in our taxonomic guide. This one definitely wants some video of it, right?
This is a really well-behaved jellyfish.
Look at that.
There's one similar looking in our guide.
Quite the poser.
Aeginura, Aeginura species, a narcomedusa. This one's it's just very interesting because you see the arms are coming off, not at the margin of the bell, but higher up.
It's very cool.
Really pretty.
Very alien.
Yeah, and definitely one. Oh, there you. That's nice. So you can see there are some tentacles along the margin of the bell, but then there's also those other arms higher up. Beautiful.
Beauty, yeah.
Very beautiful.
I think I'd like to reset the eval. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So as I was saying, anadromous fish swim both ways.
Oh, good.
Salmon.
Doing a DVL reset.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Looks like we've got some ctenophores in this area too. Maybe we'll get a nice view of one at some point. Those are other gelatinous animals we're seeing in the water, but instead of being an cnidarian, like the jelly we just saw that has these stinging cells that uses to capture its prey, those ctenophores would have sticky cells or colloblasts to help capture their prey.
Excellent.
And take your bubble for a moment.
Yep.
I have another joke for you, Scott.
Okay, I haven't finished my joke yet, though.
Oh.
He's getting there.
I'm getting there.
Sorry.
It's okay. We got to pepper the science joke with actual science. It's awesome.
Oh, no.
Nowhere else in the world can you get that. Okay, so anadromous fish, two anadromous fish are swimming up a river. They run into a concrete barrier. One says to the other, damn. I got a little chuckle out of Mike. All right. Annie, what's your joke?
When you throw a whole bunch of textbooks in the ocean, what do you call it? Not textbooks, a whole bunch of books into the ocean. Any kind of book.
Wait, let me think. Whole bunch of books in the ocean.
What do you call it?
Books in the ocean.
A loss of investment.
Wet books? I don't know.
I give up.
A tidal wave.
A tidal
but
wave.
actually, a better punchline someone else came up with was a sea of knowledge, which I thought was good.
Oh, that's very nice.
Oh, look, there is.
That's really cool looking.
Yeah, so we've got
beautiful.
And one of those other anemones, or
jellyfish
we saw earlier was in the background, too.
Yes.
But
Look
this
how
one,
shiny this one is.
Yeah. This one is in the
looks like a toy.
guide to find it.
My brain does not work very well at this hour. Remind us what species we're seeing here.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm scrolling.
I know its second name is rufescens, which means red.
Oh, no.
There it is. No, you're thinking of a different one. This is benthocoton.
Benthocoton, that's right.
Yeah, but you were thinking of that larger red one that we've seen on the seafloor.
Like me? Oh no.
Which might be actually up in the upper left corner there.
Yeah.
So even though we're seeing a lot of soft bottom, and it may just look like boring old mud to some people, when you're looking more closely, we're seeing quite a diversity of animals. We're seeing sea stars, we're seeing sea cucumbers, we're seeing sea urchins, a bunch of different anemones.
Would you say we're on a sedimental journey?
I'm feeling very sentimental about this journey. That's one I haven't seen much of. before.
He looks like a sunshine or a sunflower.
Bringing us some sunshine in the middle of the night.
Yesterday we got some sunshine after we took the ROV up to process samples.
And if you look at those two lasers, those are 10 centimeters across. So this anemone's more than 10 centimeters in diameter.
Okay, full wide.
I would say it's not that all surprising that we're seeing a lot of organisms on the soft sediment because we have the slope change and we're also over a relatively productive region of the sea surface. And so even though there's not much structure out here, organisms that are able to settle certainly will take advantage of this environment compared to the flatter abyssal plains of the seafloor.
And you know, I've seen on other watches, they found those, what they're calling irregular urchins, like we have going out of view below us, with a couple white sea cucumbers in association, and there it was again. Kind of interesting. So we have been seeing mostly invertebrates, but we do have a vertebrate coming into view. As you see, the lasers are about to get close to a grenadier, one of our deep sea fishes. This one from the coloration looks like the ghostly grenadier.
Just in time for Halloween.
I know. So many of these deep sea creatures are just perfect for Halloween.
We are 15 days away from Hallows Eve.
Zoom in there.
I have no costume yet.
Should let your kids pick it.
No, I don't know if you want to let them pick it. One year I was trying to get the whole family to do different Muppets, but I did not get traction on that idea.
It's a good one.
But if you were going to dress up as a Muppet, which Muppet would you dress up as?
I guess I'd probably dress up as like Big Bird.
I guess, okay, I'm thinking of the Muppet Show, but that is a Muppet. Good point.
Yeah, my Muppets are strictly from Sesame Street.
Okay. Got it. Magda?
Maybe Cookie Monster, since we are.
That would be fun. Plus you could
Because I
bring
love
cookies around with you.
All right, full wide.
I like it. That was a nice shot of that grenadier. Thank you. Scott?
I
love the Swedish chef. That would be fun. And yeah, you got to talk like that all night, which is fun. We did have a Halloween party one year and someone came as Beaker.
Nice.
What's the orange guy that's with Beaker? I like that one. Like his assistant, the crazy orange hair.
I thought that was Beaker.
Is that Beaker? I thought
Yeah.
Is there like a little scientist that's with him then?
There is, and I don't,
okay.
I just remember Beaker.
Okay, I like
Zoom in there.
Beaker then.
Yeah, what is that we've got ahead of us here? Which? Look at so the dark reddish kind of cranberry color, that's a sea cucumber. And then in the foreground, oh, this can be a really nice shot. That's beautiful. Stalked anemone? Yeah.
That is beautiful.
And we see a brittle star down to the left and at the base. So a lot of these animals have kind of a base that they can bury and
Okay, full wide.
expand and helps them hold on to these muddy bottoms. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yep.
And to answer Aaron's question, Beaker is the assistant of Dr. Bunsen Honeydew,
This is
Bunsen, honey.
probably named after his hobby of using a Bunsen burner and the shape of his head, which looks like a melon.
Perfect, thank you.
Dr. Bunsen
Good use of the
Honeydew.
internet.
It is a good use of the internet.
We're going to shout out for Miss Piggy on
Oh,
on
yeah.
this live.
Okay,
nation
that
here.
would be fun.
And Kermit, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jess, who would you dress up as if you had to dress up as a Muppet?
That's a hard one. I think I would actually leave it up to my nieces and my nephew to choose that. I will.
You'd probably
Do
end up as
anything they tell me.
Gonzo then or something.
Oh, I don't know what they'll give me, but probably won't be pretty. Depends on how much chocolate I feed them beforehand.
Every now and then we're seeing some little sea pigs. So this looks like it's getting steeper, is that right?
Yeah, we're getting into the thick of it.
Okay. And
I couldn't believe yesterday they brought up
We'll
this.
just do a little shift down slope, Jess, as far as we can get Argus. It's not much further, but
That sounds good. I can also just change our delta as we, if you need more leash.
Yesterday when we brought the slurp samples up to process at the end of the dive, we looked at the shrimp, and I always have the impression that they're pretty big based on the videos and the size of the octopuses, but they were half the size of what I thought. And I was super surprised when the science managers looked at it and they were like, this is so big. We had such a complete opposite perception of what we were seeing on the screen.
I thought the squat lobster would be a lot bigger than what it was.
Oh my God, that was
it was very small.
That was about a quarter of the size I thought.
Well, I think it's a lot smaller than the squat lobsters we're seeing out here, the white ones out here, yeah.
All right, it's time for our Nautilus Live Nation check-in around the world. Again, nothing on this planet connects us more than the ocean. There are no borders. We like to say there's 7 seas. I do like to think that there is just one ocean on
What's
this
that?
ocean planet.
big streak in the sonar.
That's good. I'm
Got
not sure.
74 people online right now.
It's interesting. It's not where I'd expect anything to be.
Let's go and look at that.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Good morning,
It's
Australia.
just, other than that, it's just
Sediment.
Yeah.
sediment. Yep.
Got the UK on board. Oh, Canada. The Netherlands. South Africa. Singapore.
What's that thing?
What is
Italy.
I think there's a squat lobster down there.
that? Oh yeah, on a rock. Good eyes.
I
India.
have these new glasses.
Zoom in there, video.
Good investment.
Oh yeah.
They really hate when we zoom in. They always swim away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right,
there's
full
a
wide.
little one.
It looks like there's a bunch of little cucumbers on that.
Yeah.
They're very camera shy.
We interrupted your world tour.
That's quite all right. We don't want to, I can't remember if I mentioned India. We've got Spain on board, Germany, Aruba, and Austria.
All right. Thanks for joining us, keeping us company. For us, this is a late night
Somebody did
watch.
ship move, I think.
For some
Yeah.
of you, I know it's other parts of your day.
But we
What do we want to do? Tell me. You want to move it into the slope?
Like 10 meters?
Or
or-
towards that?
I mean, that's, you can see it also in Argus a little bit, that flat feature.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how tall that is.
I think we can do, we can do 20 meters towards that, right? We're outside 40 there.
Outside
That's
40.
dead ahead of
That
you
line,
right
because
now.
that little blue stuff, you're going to lift up over that.
Yeah.
Alright, so going dead ahead of you, yeah?
Yeah.
So like 0, well, what's your heading?
Yeah,
0
pretty
and
much
4?
due north, yeah.
Alright. Bridge nav.
Why can't I see that yet?
Can we get a 20-meter step north? Thank you.
So what you're hearing is the ROV pilots notice that their sonar is picking up something that's a little different. It's got
Like
a brighter
that.
return, and that suggests to them that maybe there's something on the seafloor that's different than this continuous homogeneous
Oh,
mud
God,
feature we're
so
looking
what
at.
is this?
What is
Come
that?
Whoa!
And we
Is
may
that
have- is that a
That
It's
is,
a rock. A rock.
hold on, I
What
don't
is
even want to
this?
say. I think I know what it is.
What? Say it.
No, I'll be wrong.
It's okay to
is it
be
a boat?
wrong.
Is it a ship?
I think so.
What?
Is it a shipwreck?
Or a cliff is just tricking me.
Yeah.
Don't get us. I mean, how many people have asked us about shipwrecks?
Either way, it's
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Yeah, look
No,
at
it's just a
that.
lot of
It's
cliffs.
just a cliff.
Very
It's a
good.
cliff,
Looked like
but
a ship for a
it's the
minute. I was
cliffs
like,
of
no way.
insanity. Move that thing and that other thing.
But
So this is a feature.
That was
This
for
is
all the
cool.
Princess
Feature.
Bride
Can
fans
you
out there,
imagine?
by
That
the
would be
way.
amazing. Just walk up on that.
Oh my
Hey, what's
goodness.
this?
This
be a
is
very
really
large ship
Okay, I'm
too.
really
cool.
stretched out here now, so we just be a while waiting for the ship. Not
Well,
a while, but a few
Okay.
minutes waiting for the ship.
Yeah, but this is a great place to wait for the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I just wish I could get 20 meters closer to it.
You
It's
get a little
all right.
Tina 4 drifting by
Yeah,
there.
Tina 4 drifting by.
Get out, Tina 4. We just found a cliff.
Let me see.
Somebody wants to know how they can watch
Oh, I saw portholes for sure.
when we're not streaming.
Definitely.
Way to see this target on the sonar and bring us over here. This is very cool.
So this is kind of neat for a couple reasons, because we noticed it on the sonar, and then also we have this map that doesn't necessarily display this feature. And so it's really goes to show the exploration necessary even though you map an area.
And is that just simply because the sonar
for sure.
doesn't have that resolution?
Yeah.
Okay, it kind of starts here, so we'll wait for the ship and then we'll follow it down from here.
So we want another step in, smaller, 10 meters?
I think we can do 20.
20, okay.
You want to bias it a little, like 030 instead of
Stand by.
0?
Yeah.
030,
Yeah, I think
Yeah, yeah.
bridge nav.
That's right.
20 meter step bearing 030, please.
So is this feature running down kind of the middle of what we see as that hot pink on the map? Is that the orientation of this feature or no?
It's kind of like, well, Herc's faced right into it, right? So it'd almost be like the top edge of that pixel,
Okay.
but that's just pure coincidence, right?
Okay.
Like this.
Well, I'm just so I get a sense of kind of a direction.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, Hercules facing due north, so.
Okay. Got it.
So this is down the almost directly perpendicular to the slope then, this feature.
Looks like it,
yeah. Or crossing at a pretty sharp angle. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
The changes here, like you can see in the Herc sonar,
Yes.
stuff that's the lighter blue stuff that's trailing off, like if north is up there, like to the southwest,
Yeah.
that's the slope, that's the strike that we were on, like since we started this watch, that was the normal strike, and now this kind of takes a turn or a dog leg.
Okay. So the last watch ran into some cliffs, and they did use the manipulator arm to kind of touch it, and it has been very much clay. You can kind of smudge it, and you.
Yes.
Was there an indicator of how tall these features were that they're experiencing?
It's really weird.
Who asked me that?
That was
Jessica brought that up.
me.
Oh, yeah. No, they didn't get. What did they say? They didn't. I don't recall them saying exactly how tall the cliffs were that they saw. I caught the tail end of one of the cliffs that they saw.
Sorry?
No, not at all, just a tiny bit.
Now this is not at all surprising that we're seeing such features like this, because we are in a very active, not a very active, but we do have active plate motion here. For example, San Francisco actually experienced a 4.5 earthquake just last week. So
No, it was yesterday.
Oh, yep.
Well, yesterday in the town next to where I live. Yeah, 4.5.
So this feature maybe is related to some very, very previously occurring event.
Want to zoom in there, video?
You can tell it's not a fresh feature because there's a lot of biology that's established itself on this surface that's open to the bottom water.
Yes, we're seeing anemones. We're seeing lots of different kinds of sponges, tube worms,
Has a very old look to it.
feather
as well.
stars. But yeah, if we were to touch that with something, it would kind of smudge like clay.
Okay, come wide.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So what's the best way to get a sense of the size of this feature, both its height and length? Do you want to?
Look at Argus,
Yeah.
just to see it's taller than, how tall is Hercules? Approximately 8 feet.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna lift up a little bit and I'll
Okay.
come down, do a line.
Keeps going,
Wow,
doesn't
this is just fantastic. Our watch really is great. Every time we get on, we see something cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll let the sonar sweep while I'm up here, but it looks like it's
Looks like it's gonna
more
flatten
mud
out.
for a bit. I guess it just like falls off there every now and again, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's see. Peter is out pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some interesting hard target. Can you reverse the scan?
What's that?
There's some interesting potential hard target there on Argus. Or noise.
Oh, that?
Might be you.
That's me, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Do
you.
you want another step to get a little more tether?
I think we're pretty all right for getting closer to the hill. If anything, we
Yeah,
go
let's
down
just,
slope.
we're pretty deep, so we'll
Right.
look around for a minute, see if that swings in anymore.
Okay.
Because really all we want is another 10 meters, and that's pretty, we might get that.
Okay.
Best I can see so far is just this one big line. Sonar doesn't indicate anything from up there.
Okay. We'll drop back down this more sheer cliff looking area.
We are on dive H1796 on the southeast apron of Davidson Seamount. This is our last dive of the season. When we bring our ROVs back on deck, we'll be steaming down to Los Angeles, and that will be it for the 2019 season. So you're seeing things for the first time and the last time for this year. But for all of you hardcore Nautilus Live Nation people out there, there are options. You can go to YouTube, where we have entire dives from this season if you've missed any, and previous seasons. You can stream them on YouTube.
Bob?
Binge watch to your
No, I thought it was for a minute. I was so excited.
deep sea delight.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. This is pretty cool too.
No, this is, but it.
I know. But no
it's
comparison.
just a different level of amazing if we had run into a sunken vessel. But this is still very cool.
The placement of those anemones, though, were awfully even and linear,
Yeah.
like porthole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know if we've ever found never seen before shipwrecks. The most obvious one is the wreck that started this all, and that was the discovery of the Titanic
Yeah.
by our fearless leader,
Wanna
Dr.
zoom
Robert
in there?
Ballard.
Yeah, let's zoom in on the sponge and anemone there, if we can.
Are like the kind of clear bubbles, are they all tunicates?
I think they're gonna be, well, I was thinking they were sponges,
Okay.
but doesn't mean I'm right. So we can look more closely. Some beautiful glass sponge.
Mhm. Mike, have you ever come across any cool, and I'm going to say quote unquote shipwrecks, because I know we've seen a lot of planes.
Not unplanned. I've done some dives on shipwrecks here and with some other ROV operations, but I haven't happened upon one. No. Okay,
Aaron,
full wide.
Aaron, the reason I was thinking sponge is we haven't seen a lot of tunicates, and they appear to only have one opening, and often some tunicates have two, an intake and where the water comes in and out, whereas on the sponges the water's coming in the sides and out the top.
Yeah.
But that was my thinking there.
They just kind of looks like something we call the tunicate.
No, they do. I agree. They look a lot like kind of your typical sea squirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to throw around like one of 3 things that I've learned.
Well, no, it's great. I'm learning a lot down here. I am not a deep sea expert by any stretch, so I'm more familiar with the shallower animals and habitats, and so it's really fun to be down here learning all this new biology and new geology.
There's that same jelly.
Yeah, floating by.
Do you know, did they get a core sample?
They have already gotten the core sample that they needed for the to look at the amount of particulate organic pollutants that are in sediments in this area, and we're still pumping seawater.
But nothing off of these cliffs of clay.
So last year we tried to take a core from one of these cliffs of clay and managed to break the handle off of the core.
Ah.
Because it's pretty solid. So
Yeah.
that didn't work out so well.
The core that we got earlier on the last dive, that had a lot
Zoom
of
right in video. Just get some of this stuff.
that had a lot of thick clay sediment too, which is hard to get it out of the tube.
Oh, okay.
So I have a challenge for our listeners.
Oh, lay it out there.
Okay, so if Herc is approximately 8 feet tall, which puts him at 243 centimeters in height, we know this cliff is taller than Herc, so we know it's at least 243 centimeters in height. And the deep sea deposition rate is between 0.01 centimeters per 106 years and 30 centimeters per 106 years. So approximately what's the range of years that deposition has been taking place at this site?
Oh boy.
It's quite big. The range is quite big between those two different deposition rates.
I hope people had their pencils out.
And you need to calculate that in moose-octopus years.
There's a lot of different kinds of animals tucked in here. Seeing a lot of tube worms. You see the white tubes.
Those are the little circular orbits.
Okay, come wide again.
Calcium carbonate makes up those tubes, and we see different kinds of anemones.
Oh, and you can see the layering of the sediments. You can see just how, when these sediments fall down, they're going to be deposited, and they're so the oldest ones lay on the bottom, and the youngest ones lay on the top.
Little cave.
And they follow this law of original horizontality, so that they're going to fall flat, and that's why they look so much like pancakes.
Pancakes sound good. Maybe we'll have some for breakfast.
Hey, video, you want to zoom in on Argus a little bit there?
Or have you ever seen like a crepe cake?
No.
Kind of looks like a cake made of crepes. Kind of looks
No,
like this
you just broke
too.
somebody's brain with that math question.
Oh, there we go.
It's
just, you guys see the Argus view is really beautiful.
Try one more off.
I'll give you.
Oh, look at that.
Is that better, or do you guys like one light on?
No, that's really cool.
This is cool, but it's harder to know. I think it's harder to know what we're looking at.
Maybe one more light.
A
There we
hint
go,
towards that math
Oh,
question
I
is
can
so
try
beautiful.
this one.
divide the height by the rate.
No.
Cool. Do you want me to keep zooming in on Argus, or is that close enough?
I think that's good, as long as we can frame it up a bit. That's awesome.
You get these funny little divot right here. So this is probably where you had a loose sediment, and then so you just had like a little landslide.
A localized landslide.
Mm-hmm. You
So
might
do
be
you-
able to see the
An
pile
actual
below it.
mound
but
below.
it's- our lighting's pretty
These
tough. This wall's pretty tall.
layers are very interesting, and just like the annual growth of a tree, there are wet years and dry years. I wonder if there's any correlation
That's
with
awesome.
this to things
Wait,
like...
there's a fish
really cool
swimming
shot.
up. Is that a grenadier? Oh yeah, but here
That's
you
a
do
cool
see that
one.
there's a little more sediment piled up at the base here. I think that was just a grenadier swimming up the wall.
Let's see if we can catch them.
Little squat lobster standing on the side of the wall.
So it's almost like this feature itself is starting to be buried in sediment, and who knows, in a million years they won't be able to find this either.
Oh, I love this.
Do like a partial zoom there. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, Mike.
What's that?
Mount St. Helens laid down 50 feet of sediment in about 24 hours. Events make steady state calculations meaningless. As I was saying, I wonder if this might be related to things like, you know, heavy rain events where you get a lot of, you know, the big plumes in the ocean of runoff, and maybe settling out of the water column. And so that would indicate, you know, wetter years or wetter periods.
That can affect definitely deposition of sediment to the seafloor. We are down off the southern end of Big Sur as far as what's on the coast, and then offshore of that there are lots of little creeks and rivers along there, but I'm trying to think of what a large sediment source would be from land that's to the east of here. Not thinking of any really large river systems that would be sending sediment out.
Okay, full wide.
But so what you're saying though is to get this kind of a cliff, we probably had some sort of an event like an earthquake, and the you know, and the fault caused like massive shifting and kind of breaking off this
Kind of uplift.
sheet uplift of sediment.
Yeah, so that whoever typed in that the events they do throw off your calculations, but it's still kind of, if you see an event, you can try to understand what year it may have occurred at by looking at the layers before it. It also gives you just a general idea of the age of your features, which is always nice to start with a back of the envelope calculation as a starting point.
And speaking of back of the envelope calculations, I cannot remember what our units are, but somebody wrote in 20,385.
Yeah, they must have used the, they using like an average sedimentation rate between what I gave them?
Can we zoom in on the, yeah.
There you go.
Mind meld.
Oh, look at that.
So this is a coral. We haven't really seen them in this kind of spiral. We've been seeing more just straight up and down. If we can get even more zoom in on the polyps, that would be great.
Nice.
So each of these polyps, I think, has 8 tentacles. It would be an octocoral. Looked like there was something up there that was moving.
On the coral?
Yeah, the little pink guy there.
Yeah, I think
maybe
there's
like a little.
That guy?
No,
that
little
one? Oh.
isopods or something.
Right,
I think are
isopod.
hanging
That one,
on there.
Going for the ride of his life.
Yeah, I think they're like little. Maybe they're amphipods.
Yeah.
They seem to be squeezed side to side now that we get a better look, not flattened from.
Reminds me of a sand flea.
Yeah, yeah. Neat. Thank you.
Alright,
That
come
was
wide
cool.
there.
That nice red shrimp.
Oh yeah. Can we zoom in on the red shrimp?
Right in the center of your screen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We did have a request for a collection of a red shrimp.
Wow.
Because we are not moving right now, how hard would it be to slurp
Well,
up a red shrimp?
We can try, for sure. Yeah, okay.
All right.
It's the one
love
very
collecting.
specific
All right, full
request
wide.
that we've received.
Want to get the
Slurp up.
suction ready there, Jess?
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Doing some sampling.
Rare, rare, rare.
You want me to do this one or are you?
Yeah, you can go for it. I'll try and just fly it around because I don't want to.
Rock on. Yeah. Let's do it.
Chase it a little bit.
Rock on, I like it.
All right, if you're just joining us, I'm Scott Simon, Science Communication Fellow.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
To my right is Ashley, our video engineer. Then we've got Jessica on Argus, Mike on Hercules. Aaron is our navigator. Behind me in the unseen corners of science
Thank you.
is Mugda, our data logger, and our two scientists, Annie and Jen.
Hello.
Jennifer.
Jen or Jennifer. I'm just, don't respond to Jenny. Doesn't translate my brain to me. But Jen or Jenny I can handle.
Wait.
No. Jen or Jennifer, that's right. Yeah, I don't. Just
Changing
when I
it
hear
first
Jenny, I
and
know
nine
someone's
instead of
talking
4.
about somebody else, not me.
My wife is Jenny, and everybody tries to make her a Jennifer, but
And
she's not
like,
a Jennifer.
Exactly.
She's
You're-
just Jenny.
Yep. I haven't found many people that are Jennifer and Jenny's. It's one or the other. And as a Jennifer, you kind of have
Flush
to
that.
try and find
Sure.
some sort of individuality because there's so many Jennifers. So, yeah.
Yeah, I sit near a Jennifer. My advisor's name is Jennifer, and her advisor's name is Jennifer.
I know 23 Jennifers that are in marine science.
Wow.
And actually, now I know 24.
In NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, there's another Jennifer Brown. I get her email frequently.
Guys, do you know which suction jar we're on?
They're all empty, so we can start with 2. Sorry, 1.
1?
So, yeah, put 2 on it.
Back row's a little tired this morning.
All right.
Forgive
I'm
us.
just going to turn the pump on now, Jess, and I'll try and fly it onto them.
Right.
And then if I miss it, which I probably will, they're pretty quick. And then move it around, try and get them.
All right. Sounds good.
Before we slurp it, can we do a quick picture with the lasers?
Yep.
Thank you.
Where are the lasers?
One's on the manipulator
Oh,
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just move that off.
There we
Perfect.
go.
There we go.
And now there's one in the water column taunting us.
Take me, take me.
Okay.
Do you think that's good? Jen,
It's
or
a-
do you want to zoom
Can we zoom a little bit in?
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Well,
Yeah, did you get one?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I got it.
She got one.
This is
Thank you.
kinda cool. It might not mean anything. It might just be coincidental, but
All right.
near this
Put that
cliff,
back out there
as
again,
we've been-
Jess.
as we have been in this area, our background water temperature has gone up by about 0.2 degrees.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Having a heat wave.
But that, you can see it.
You can see it on the
Mind if we
in
rack the
situ
porch out a little bit?
TDO logger.
What's
We've
that?
Mind if we rack
attached
the
to the
porch
front
out
of
a
the
little
vehicle.
bit to get better viz down?
Rack the porch out?
Sorry, rack the
Oh,
camera.
the camera. Yeah. Just make shadows. All right. Oh, he's hiding behind the coral now. All right. Hold on a minute.
Come
See what
back.
happens.
We don't, yeah. Have to spend too much time on this if it doesn't work out, but thought while we're here and we're not underway, might be the most opportunistic time to collect one of these.
Good idea. Good way to remember. I'm really glad we found this. They found this feature.
Yeah, it's really so different than
Something
what
to
we've
look
been
at.
seeing in the
Like
surroundings.
the sneak attack.
Sneak up now, yeah. Changing my plan here.
We're moving at the speed of the octopus that we've been watching. We move very slowly.
Somebody asked what
Toe
the,
in here, then you can try and creep up on it, Jess.
Yeah, I like that plan.
The best advice I got from the Coast Guard
Can
when
I see
operating
that corner
boats
with the
is
bubble cam?
slow
Sure.
is pro.
This is so
So we're very pro right now.
I like looking at the Argus cam and looking, the Argus cam and looking how close the ROV
All right,
pilots
can
are
you
able
reach
to
in
get to
there?
this cliff
Yeah.
and not
See what you can
touch
do.
it. It really shows
I'm
the
gonna go into
precision
round
of their
sections
skill.
in case I get a lucky shot.
Yeah.
Video, wanna do some zoomage, please?
Take a good run
That's
on
good.
A deep sea operation
All right.
game.
Look down a little bit if you can.
All right. Come on,
This guy's in for the ride of his life.
Sneak behind your butt. Sneak behind your butt.
Go, 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 go.
Oh, come on, get
Oh, they're fast. Oh, those shrimp. They're
We are faster.
Let's go. You
Oh
got
man.
No, we are not faster. Come here, come
Oh, no,
here.
don't
Go for it,
go
go
out
for
there.
it. Yeah, okay. Not too
Okay.
far at our hose.
Oh. Okay.
Come on,
Full
please,
wide,
video.
please. That was good, but that happens with them a lot. They feel
Oh,
the
he's right up
suction.
at. Can you see it? He's right above us.
Yeah.
Do you think?
He's
Do you think we
just
could?
teasing us.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's easier.
Get him
When
from
there's
behind.
So we give you
swimming.
some suction.
Just a
Maybe he'll
sneak
swim right
attack.
into you.
This just
All
became
right, get it
personal.
down lower.
This feels like when you drop something between your car seats and you're like trying to grab it and you get your fingertips on it
Mm-hmm.
and you just keep dropping it.
All right.
Oh.
Come on, buddy.
It's like, no.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not going to happen. It's all right. It was worth a
All right.
try.
Swim away.
This is a good effort.
They live to fight another day.
Thanks for trying.
My goodness.
So that was a request from Mary Wickstein. So sorry, Mary. We weren't able to get that one.
We'll get another one.
I like that positive attitude, Jessica.
So what we're looking for,
Tranquilizer.
just so you know, from what we've heard from Mary, is that this shrimp that this may be has not been seen since the 1800s.
Wow.
In collections, I should say. So, I said also keep an eye out for this shrimp, not seen since the 1800s. It's red, and also we heard is it's all red. But the shrimp we were seeing in amongst the rubble around the octopus garden, they had a little bit of red on them, but not all red. So this is the only one we've been seeing that's all red.
Can you tell us who Mary is?
Oh, I don't have. Let me see if I have more information.
Last name?
Let's see, or we'll look it up. But she's been an author on
She's at
On-
Texas A&M Biology.
Zoom in
Yeah.
a little bit past that stuff. Video,
and
thanks.
she's helped put together the decapod crustacea of the Californian and Oregonian zoogeographic provinces. So she is an expert on the crustaceans.
And she is
see
at
that.
the same
The,
university
the-
and institution of research that some of these pore fluids are going to go to be analyzed
okay.
for the biology. Not the pore fluids, the squeezer samples that we've been collecting the discharging fluid with. Pore fluid is the fluid that exists between the sediments, and you have to use a very special little straw and filter to extract that from those sediments
Look at
after
this.
you collect them with the cores. We're not getting any of those on this expedition.
Look at this overhang we now have.
This is
Wow.
so cool.
So it looks like we've got a bit of an overhang. How far off the bottom is that?
this goes down quite a bit from here.
Hey, Ashley, you want to come full wide on Argus? Thank you.
You can see that the overhang.
I can't hear you.
Sorry. I'll come down a little bit more.
You can see the
There's some
overhang.
space.
It cross-cuts the layering, the horizontal layering.
Yeah,
below
look
it,
at that.
Which is interesting.
Altitude somewhere between 12 and 15 meters.
As you look at that sediment wall, you can see differences in that whiter parts, and then there's some layers that are just that continuous tan color, pancaked by other whiter parts, and that suggests that there's something different about those sediments when they were deposited. It might be the chemistry, it might be the grain size, it might be the mix between different types of sediments. Could be a whole
Might have to
number
hold
of
off
things.
here.
Okay.
So I can give us another foot.
Can we continue to move down the feature?
Yeah, we're
Not-
gonna have to just reposition the ship a little bit because it's spreading out from that corner where we started.
Uh-huh.
So now it's like we can't even do the run up and down without, we can back off the wall a few meters and we can keep going with it.
Okay.
Looks like there's a little gap in the feature and then more of it.
So we want to do it
Yeah.
Right.
due east.
So let me just face it and get that move right. Yeah, I think you're right, Aaron.
Or even, would you guys want to go more conservative and do like a 135?
Yeah. Yeah, do,
Is that-
do 20 at there and then we can always come back in 10.
Is that a little
20 at 135?
grenadier to give you a
Bridge nav?
scale of this wall?
Can we have a 20-meter step bearing 135? Thank you.
Yes, that appears to be a grenadier that's swimming
'Cause it goes,
next
it's like
to
another
the
whole step down here.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow. That's very cool, yeah.
This is sweet.
Oh, wow, and then another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll run back up here for now while we're waiting for the ship. And then,
Good shot.
Yeah, you can see the distinct layering so well.
Yeah. That's a really big, thick white layer right there. Like a big Oreo cookie.
Goes into the...
Oh, there's a big ruffled sponge.
Is it mixed with a dead ruffle sponge?
It might be that the inside, the interior component that was built first has died, and we still have live tissue on the edges.
Can you get two different species of sponge that
Zoom in
basically
there,
like
video.
grow with each other, kind of like intertwined?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Amanda, wake up.
It's not the ruffled sponge I was thinking of.
Very
They were talking about
strange.
dirty sponge earlier. I don't know if part of that is a dirty sponge.
okay,
Certainly
full
covered
wide.
in sediment.
Wow.
So are clownfish super small?
What?
Are clownfish super small?
Clownfish, like tropical?
Yeah, well, we keep
clownfish?
seeing all these anemones. Or are
Oh.
just tropical anemones super big?
Clownfish are, I mean, they are.
They aren't
I would
particularly
Small.
large.
I would say relatively speaking, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Inky's here.
Oh. Hey.
This has gotten much larger than I expected it to be when
Yeah.
we first saw it.
It's
Yeah.
like the yellow brick road. Maybe we'll find the wizard at the other end.
Megan described these earlier as Indiana Jones cliffs.
Oh.
Why Indiana Jones?
Maybe it's just a
Oh.
pop reference.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
there,
I
were
mean,
there
there-
cliffs in Indiana Jones?
There is one movie
The one with the
where they like
snakes?
jump, yeah.
Yeah, was that one
I
Tales
could
of
go
the
on
Deep.
about that one.
where they found the Holy Grail, where they were in the canyons?
Well, yeah, because yeah, that was filmed in Jordan, and then there was one where they were, where he like, yeah, they like jump off a cliff. Like there's a bridge. I think that's the one.
It's the one where Sean Connery was his father.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Renamed the dog Indiana.
So now we're waiting for the ship to move, is that right?
Yep, ship's
Okay.
moving.
Do we have the ability to go deeper down?
Uh,
Or do we need to stay up here?
That's what that move will get us, but
Okay.
we're not really there yet.
Okay, got it.
Can we go a little closer up a little? Or are we near the top of the feature already?
I can go back up to the top. I've been up there a few times. Kind of close to it here now.
Mike, I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time, but is this not just sheer delight?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wait, you're only apologizing to Mike?
The rest of us.
We like the jokes. They're good.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, so here's, well, it's pretty dusty up here now.
Is it just sediment falling on its own?
No, this is us getting in tight doing zooms, and it's just pretty.
Is that just prop wash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going up over the water collector?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's turn that
Oh,
off.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's turn that off.
Okay.
All right, it should be off
Good
now.
call.
Sorry about that.
Alright. No worries.
Ship's finished its
I'll make
move.
note of that.
Would you put the time off as?
The time is 0806, probably
Okay.
00. It was only about half a minute ago.
0806. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So yeah, this is the top.
What's our depth here?
Our depth here is 3308.
And so now our plan is to just keep moving down, like vertically or down?
Well, I was just
along
wanting
it?
to kind of get along it, but get a sense of how tall it's getting. And then when we get to the end, we can continue on to the next waypoint.
Okay, so we have a top depth, at least at this point, wherever our position is 3308. Although we can't say for sure if the top's been sloping down as well as we move along it.
So Jess, if I have to back us off again, I think we should just go due south. The strike of that wall is pretty much bang on north.
Yeah.
Let me put in another 20 due south.
South, sure.
Yeah, and as we go down, maybe they'll
Bridge nav.
give us more room before we need to wait.
We have a 20-meter step bearing 180. Thank you.
Or is that's just the curvy part I'm looking at now? You look at it there and it's not. It's like,
That's not that.
Oh, wow.
You're facing due north, yeah?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of sculpts around, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, if that's to be believed,
Yeah.
it'd be cool if it kind of swung around, had a, like a
Yeah, it was
promontory kind of thing.
Anyway, they're both safe headings anyway. But
Yeah.
So one of our viewers is noticing that the anemones seem to be, in these very distinct patterns on the edges or the overhangs. Any ideas why that might be? That we're seeing more life sort of.
Sorry.
Might put them further out into the water column, where they're able to just, they're pretty stocky little animals, so they, I think they can use all the advantage they get.
Yeah, the way the water's moving along this is probably impacting where you're seeing animals. Yeah. They're going to be in areas where they're getting a lot of flow and able to capture food as it's moving by.
No, they don't extract anything from the sediment, right? They're not similar to plants in that way at all. There's no nutrient. They don't have roots. So it wouldn't necessarily make a difference on the type of sediment they're establishing themselves on.
They have to be able to hold on. And that's what, there may be parts of the rock that are easier to hold on to than others. And then they need to be able to capture their food. The sponges are filtering the water and getting their food that way, right? So sucking it in to their bodies and then expelling it out, where many of these other animals are using.
I think that's about probably my 20-meter limit.
Yes, I wonder if maybe we're getting like upwelling up the face of the cliff into those overhangs.
Or the water's moving along it. Could be moving up it or along it in certain ways. But many of the other animals, like the anemones and the feather stars, and they are using their anatomy to capture the food as it drifts by, not filtering it, but instead it's called suspension feeding. So capturing the suspended particles and then eating that.
Mike, I'm going to hold off here again.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to wait a minute and see if that ship move takes us further off the wall. So slow it at this depth.
Yeah. Can we zoom in, though, on whatever those kind of flat-looking stars are? That's just a little bit different. Above the lasers, on that part that is in between the two faces. Just curious what that is real quick.
Are you looking?
Above the lasers, kind of in the center.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe they're just feather stars? I can't quite tell.
Zoom in their video.
No, it's seagrass.
And a sea pig?
Sea pig on some kelp, it looks like. And then, yeah, that looks like some seagrass. So that's traveled all the way here from the margins, either in an estuary or in an intertidal area. Okay, thank you.
To give you guys an idea of so far this height of this cliff that we've just traversed down or descended
coming
down.
off a little bit.
We started at
slow
3308 and now we're at 3330, so 22 meters so far, approximately 60 feet, a little more. That's a rough estimate because the vehicle's not necessarily descending in a straight line down.
So a multi-story building.
And there are some neat steps and changes, and so places that the set wall seems to be a little further away from us.
Zoom in on that little
squat lobster swimming.
Yep.
Such incredible creatures those are.
Look at the eyes.
Yeah.
So I've seen one of these from a collection, and the eyes really do look that kind of yellowish orange color.
So we've seen some anemones, we've seen squat lobsters, we've seen corals,
brittle stars, sea cucumbers.
Okay, full wide.
Lots of sponges. Did you already say that?
I
didn't
take
say
your
that.
bubble for a moment.
Some shrimp.
Yep.
Sea pigs, you got that? I know that's a cucumber, but
We've seen some grenadiers.
I'm just noting the community that we are seeing associated with the seawall, and it's in line with what we've been seeing in this area, so it's not surprising.
Why do they call them squat lobsters?
Want to try and come
We were
down
talking
another
about
few
this the other
meters,
day. We
Jess?
thought maybe because they were small, I think maybe it's like
shot in Argus.
poking
Cool
fun of their
steps.
size.
Yeah, that's awesome.
oh yeah, look at
yeah.
Argus. You can
Wait, I'm
see
gonna
how
take
it's
that.
stepping down.
It's a lot like the Grand Canyon.
That's awesome.
That's wicked.
Ooh,
Oh, it just
Drops off
keeps
even
going.
more.
a big
Wow.
one.
Video, you
Wow.
want to do a slight push in there on Argus?
Looks like there's some chunks
Frame it up for
here.
you.
Yeah,
That's awesome right there.
go take a
Yeah.
Yes, please.
With
Mike
Argus
can do
view
a
looks
partial
really
for
great.
you on Argus.
look. Yeah.
That's so cool.